listen, I think that I just ran into Teresa in the hall, and that's never fun. She's very upset, and she's 20 years old. She's got plenty of time. She won tonight. It's not like she lost. She won. Her stock goes up. She's a young kid. She's got nothing but time. I mean, I was telling you the guys the other day, talking about signing 23 and 24-year-old. She's 20. But, yeah, it was a good night for Brazil. I agree. I'm excited to see what these two do. Gabriel's special. Ismail is super talented, durable, ton of fights. Yeah, I'm excited to see what these two do.
I was going to ask you if any of the three, because honestly, all three of the Brazilians looked like they could be contenders in their division. So did any of the three impress you the most?
Yeah, I think that obviously Vitor, with the amount of muscle that he has, he's going to have conditioning problems. It's going to be interesting to see him get. But the same note too. These guys are under a lot of pressure here tonight. So he got this one under his belt, got this experience, got some good rounds in with a very tough guy who's 8-1, and he's going to have to work on the gas tank in that light heavyweight division in the UFC.
Unique situation with brothers as well. Just curious how you approach that as a promoter. Do you try to look at those guys as a package deal moving forward and try to sell them that way, or do you kind of let everybody have their own path?
I hadn't thought about it yet. I haven't thought about it yet. Obviously, I know they're both super marketable and very talented, but we'll see. But I'm sure, if you're them, they probably do train together and probably do want to fight together. And why not throw them on the same card?
And I was going to ask, is it automatic? Obviously, you're finally going back to Brazil for the first time in a long time. Do you get in the matchmaker's ears and say, let's put those guys on that card? Is that an automatic?
I don't know if it's an automatic. We'll see what they have planned, the fighters themselves. But, yeah, I'm sure Sean and Mick would love to throw those two on the card in the Brazil if they're ready.
Did want to ask you about the Carl Williams decision. Is that just you getting soft in your old age here?
Yeah, probably. But what else could the kid do? What else could he do tonight? He out-wrestled an All-American wrestler. He moved up a weight class. He dominated. He took the fight on short notice, and he was a 2-1 underdog. How do you say no to that guy? How do you not give that guy an opportunity to fight?
Was it a tough call? Because, we were kind of chatting back here. We thought, I wonder if they'll try to find him a spot on a Contender Series card, but there's only 3 left and they're full, right? So, if you'd have had more cards, do you think you would have brought him back for the Contender Series?
No, I wouldn't have. The kid's 7-1. He's 32 years old. What's fair is let him heal up, give him a full camp, and give him a shot. Who knows? Maybe he wins in the UFC, maybe he doesn't, but it's hard to deny that he earned the shot tonight.
Did want to ask you, obviously, a big pay-per-view coming up this week. Wanted to get your excitement level on Nate Diaz, Khamzat Chimaev, the two gangsters going at it. What's your feel on that fight?
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I'm sure you guys feel it like I feel it. If you on social media or on the, this stuff's cracking. They're pulling big numbers right now, so I'm expecting good things this weekend.
We've seen footage of Khamzat at the PI, kind of stirring things up with Paulo Costa. Have you had any, we like that fire in him, right? But have you had any conversations with him? Maybe settle down at the PI?
No. Guys, I don't do this. We're in the fight business. This stuff happens, and it's up to us to make sure that they don't fight at the PI. That's our job. So fighters will be fighters, and, those things are going to happen, and we'll deal with it.
Last thing for me, a lot of people are saying this is Nate Diaz's last fight in the UFC. Are you coming into this week feeling that's a certainty that this is the last time he'll compete for the UFC?
I don't know. Nate and I talked, and I said, listen, this kid came in on The Ultimate Fighter. He's fought in incredible wars for us, and, he's been a big part of this company for a very long time. And what more could I ask of Nate Diaz? If Nate's ready to make this his last fight, I wish him all the best in the world. And, it's been fun. It's really been fun dealing with those two. At the times, at certain times, it was whatever. But looking back, the Diaz brothers have been an absolute blast. They're legends in this sport. They're legends in this company. And these days come with all the guys. And if that's what Nate wants, then we wish him the best.
Dana, going off the back of that, Nate did an interview with ESPN earlier today, and he said that you guys have always got along, and there is some love for the UFC and for you. But he did say some years ago in a nightclub, you and him got into an argument, and it nearly got physical. Do you remember that?
Allegedly. Allegedly. We were drinking.
Was it that close or no?
Does anybody else have any other questions?
Going back to the PI with Hamza and Paulo, I know you said, look, fighters are fighters, right? But have you guys ever had an incident there that's really come close to people throwing punches, or have you actually kind of got away with it?
With fighters?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure we have, but, guys cross each other's paths, and these things happen sometimes. That's the business that we're in. And I know that at the PI, they're super sensitive to who's training where and who's doing what. But when you have a gym full of fighters that aren't from necessarily the same, I'm sure they even have that problem in the same camps, But it happens. That's the business that we're in.
This is a big event on Saturday. I'm curious from a business perspective, at what point during the week do you start getting numbers where you realize, okay, we're trending in this direction? When do you start to feel how big this event really is?
Yeah, no, we feel it now. We've been talking about it since, the minute we started posting on Monday, it was a big event. The sellout streak will continue. The gate is probably going to come in north or right on 5 million, and we expect big pay-per-view numbers.
Last thing from me, there was footage of Mark Zuckerberg training mixed martial arts recently. I know you were meant to have a meeting with him. Is he getting in the octagon? Can we see him on Contender?
I don't think that's going to happen, but yeah, we met and we talked, and he loves the sport. He's very knowledgeable about the sport, and yeah.
Is there a deal to be done there some way in terms of your content on his platform?
We do. I'm pretty sure we do have, we do Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, but get him to do more.
Who knows? The rights are coming up. We'll see what happens.
Hey, Dana.
Yep.
I just have a quick question. Nate announced that he was going to be starting his own promotion. I'm just curious what you thought of that.
Nate did? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
What kind of promoter do you think he'll be?
Listen, this isn't as easy as it looks. Lots of people have tried, but the more people that get into this sport, the more talent that's created. And hopefully I can just go every Tuesday, 52 weeks a year and do the Contender Series. So, like I said, I like Nate Diaz a lot. I obviously haven't seen his ESPN interview yet, but yeah, I wish him nothing but the best in whatever he does. If he goes and fights at another promotion, or if he starts another promotion, or whatever it is, I wish him the best.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Dana.
Hey.
You had a successful night at UFC Paris last weekend. I just wanted your thoughts on the event.
Yeah, it was incredible. The energy was probably as big and as badass as anything we've ever done. There was a lot of pent-up demand and frustration, in France, and you felt it on Saturday night. So they came out, and the one great thing the thing that I'm always proud of is when we go into a market like France and you see how educated the fans are. All these little, moves that happen on the ground and people are reacting to it. That's what I love.
Did you have the kind of same feeling you felt when you went to London this year about going to Paris?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a different vibe in Europe. You know what I mean? You guys know how good it is here, and then when you go to Europe, the fans are different than they are here. They sing, they chant. There's just a different type of buzz and energy. It's fun. And I tell people all the time, if you've never been to a fight in Europe, you got to go.
Is France going to be a yearly trip, or is that going to be kind of like maybe every 2 years?
Yeah, we got to figure out what's next, but you know how we like to do it. We like to move it around, so we'll probably do a different city, maybe a fight night or something in a different city, and then head out there with a big pay-per-view in Paris again.
I know matchmaking was today. Do you have an idea of...
We did not do matchmaking today. I had another meeting today that I had to not do matchmaking.
do you have an idea of where you're going to go with the heavyweight division? There's so many questions about John Jones and Stipe and Francis, and Cyril Gane just looked great, and now he's going to be out for a couple of 5 months with a broken hand. Like, do you have an idea of?
No, those are all great questions. Those are all things that we have to figure out. But it's a very, very good problem to have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dana, going back to Carl Williams, he was 30 pounds less than his heavyweight competitor tonight. When you guys bring him out, is that going to be at light heavyweight, or would you guys be willing to give him another heavyweight shot?
Yeah, no, he should fight at light heavyweight. You got away with this one tonight. You don't want to mess around with our heavyweight division if you're a light heavyweight.
And then when they were talking about Paris, one of the other guys, Vittori, and there, a lot of people were talking about Italy. Is Italy something that's on the radar for next year or sometime soon?
No, but I would love to do a fight in Italy. And I know, the Fertittas always wanted to do a fight in Italy when they were here. So, but yeah, Italy would be great.
And when you talk about Italy, is that like a Rome or nowhere else? I mean, what?
I don't know. Capri, if I get to choose.
And then last one, Dustin Poirier's been tweeting a lot about MSG. Is that fight, and it's been sort of one of the rumors, Dustin and Chandler for MSG on that Adesanya Poirier. Is there a holdup on that, or is that going to happen for sure?
Yeah, I mean, if we get it done, we'll announce it. We don't have it done yet.
Gotcha. Thanks, Dana.
Thanks.
Yeah, hey, Dana.
Hey.
You're a big sneaker guy.
Yeah.
I know you've done work with Jordan Diaz and the shoe surgeon. You got two of the biggest sneakerheads in the UFC fighting each other this weekend in D-Rod and Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if there's a performance of the night bonus between the two of them. Are they going to get maybe like a custom sneaker bonus as well?
Me and Kevin Holland are weird. We buy shoes for each other. So, yeah, he was with me when I went to the surgeon. So, no, but probably. I don't know. Yeah, I buy him shoes anyway. I always buy him shoes, and he just bought me some shoes that he's bringing me too.
And then Tony Ferguson, he's been doing a lot of work with King Callum Walsh. I know Callum Walsh is in town with his camp this weekend.
Right.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on them working together, and then Callum Walsh's upcoming fight in, I think, November.
Yeah, those guys are friends, and they get together and train. And Tony was at his last fight, and I'll be at his next fight. And Tony probably will too, which is coming up. You know the date on that, Lene? No? When? November 3rd. There we go. Yeah, he's fighting November 3rd, and we'll be there. Yeah, thanks. Good? Thank you, guys.
segunda vez que temos dois irmãos em contender, mas é a primeira vez que temos dois irmãos sentados para a entrevista juntos, tá bom?
Well, first of all, congratulations to you both. Obviously, a special night for the family. I guess, can you just tell us what the emotions are like for you sitting up there together?
Primeiramente, parabéns para ambos. A gente imagina só que emoções que passam por vocês e pela família. Qual que é a emoção de estar sentados os dois aqui juntos?
Quer que eu fale primeiro?
Do you want me to speak first?
Cara, é uma emoção muito grande porque é um projeto que se iniciou há mais de 15 anos atrás. Começou primeiro comigo, eu ali com 7 anos de idade, logo em seguida com o Gabriel. Então, eu nunca imaginei que a gente seria contratado juntos, né? Então, por ter sido contratado hoje os dois juntos é uma emoção muito grande para a gente. É um trabalho que vem sendo feito aí há 15 anos atrás e hoje estamos apenas colhendo os frutos.
Very big, huge emotion because it's a project that's been ongoing for 15 years. Art started at age 7, and then he joined me shortly after that, and I never thought that we would be hyped together into this and would be brought in together. So what's happening right now, again, 15 years of project together and actually reaping what we sowed and is getting the fruits of our work.
I guess start with Ishmael. The pressure going out there, being the first one, like, is there a certain kind of weight on your shoulders of having to set the tone for the two of you on the night?
Começar com vocês, Mel. Primeiro de tudo, a pressão de ser o primeiro. A pressão de ter o nervoso. Pô, será que vou dar o tom para essa noite, então, ser o primeiro de estar na noite?
Cara, é uma pressão assim fora do normal, que eu penso comigo, velho, se eu perder, vou abalar o psicológico dele e ele vai acabar perdendo. Então eu tenho que ganhar para a responsabilidade dele aumentar e ele tem que ganhar também, porque temos que sair os dois vitoriosos.
I think it's a completely out of whack emotion and pressure because I'm thinking, dude, if I lose, I'm going to screw up his psyche and he's going to end up losing too. So, you know what? I'm going to win and put some pressure on him to perform even better.
I guess, Gabriel, for you, what was that like? I mean, watching your brother, was it difficult to manage your own emotions? And then did you feel that, like, now I got to go get it for the family?
E para você, Gabriel, primeiro, você assistiu a luta dele, tentando controlar as emoções, estava prestes a lutar, e depois que ele ganhou, você falou, pô, agora é minha vez.
Exatamente. Eu falei para ele, estava falando ali, não quero mais lutar no mesmo card que você. Já é a terceira vez que a gente luta e eu sempre sou o último a lutar. Então a pressão vai toda para cima de mim. Eu falei, eu não quero mais, tá entendendo?
I was telling him, I do not want to be in the same card as you. This is the third time we're in the same card, and I'm always the last one, and the pressure's always on me. I do not want to do this again.
Okay, so knowing you don't want to do it again, but what if the UFC comes and says, hey, we got a pay-per-view in Rio, the two of you on there, would you turn it down, or would you say, we'll do it one more time?
Bem, com isso que você falou, com essa informação, sabendo que você não quer lutar, idealmente, no mesmo card que ele, de repente o UFC chega para você e fala assim, Rio de Janeiro, dia 21 de janeiro, estamos no Rio de Janeiro, vamos lutar junto, e agora? Quer o protocolo?
Vamos nessa, a gente está pronto. E mais uma observação, eu vou lutar primeiro.
Let's go, let's do this, but just one observation, I'm fighting first.
I guess last question I'll ask for you, which one becomes the UFC champion first? Dana White said he thinks both of you had the potential to be a contender at some point in your career. Which one becomes a champ first?
Última pergunta minha é, qual dos dois vai ser campeão primeiro? Porque o Dana White falou lá que os dois têm chance de ser campeão e lutar por um título. Então quem vai pegar o cinturão primeiro dos dois?
Eu.
Me.
Ganhei.
Well, that was self-explanatory, wasn't it? Good. Essa foi tranquilo, só para vocês estarem juntos.
Um beijo.
A kiss to everybody.
Thank you. Tirar uma foto daí. Pode? Sentado mesmo. Igual os caras do UFC mesmo.
Congratulations on getting a UFC contract. I guess you haven't had a lot of time to think about this exact moment, but what is the emotion right now?
A blank. You're just living in the moment right now, and I'm thinking about when is the next one. So it's like excited, and then like trying to figure out, okay, where do we go from here? You know, trying to be active. I'm trying to get 2 more by the end of the year if possible. So, yeah.
What was the discussion coming in here, right? Because you got to take it on short notice. You got to move up a weight class. You got to do it against a guy that's kind of heavily touted as well. So, I mean, what was the discussion coming in? Was it like we're in a no-lose situation, or did you know you could win tonight? What was it like?
Well, I believe in my coaches, believe in my team, so I never really think I'm gonna lose. It was a bad odds, but I think with what I've been doing, I've been training all year. So even with having to take 5 weeks off, I still felt confident. Like I'm gonna not give my best performance, but I'm able to win. I thought I was gonna be a little bit better, but yeah, never thinking, okay, we're gonna just go in there and it's the UFC Contender Series. You only get. I didn't know if I was gonna get another shot. They were like, well, if you lose, then you gotta win and do this and do that. I was like, no. Let's just win the first out, get it out the way, and just get the ball rolling.
Well, I was gonna say you got the win. So I mean, before you knew you got the contract, right? The win's done. How satisfied were you with your performance? It sounds like you said you wanted it to be a little bit better, but it's still a win, right?
Yeah, still a win. Not satisfied because I know what Dana White is looking for. I've been watching Contender Series for a while, trying to figure out, okay, what I got to do, how do I get there, and studying the stuff. So knowing the performance, and then like he was saying, even last week he was saying about being 32. So I'm like, oh, here we go. So I'm like, geez, give me a break. But he did give me a break, gave me the opportunity. But yeah.
So between the end of the fight and that moment you got the deal, were you thinking, I'm not doing it, or were you remaining hopeful that something would happen?
Still remaining hopeful. I mean, it was a lot. I was hoping. I still dominated a wrestler, Penn State wrestler, and I don't know all his accolades. I didn't get time to look him up real good to see what his wrestling was, but I still dominated him in wrestling. Like I said, I couldn't do no cardio. So being able to still dominate the way I did, and with the situation I had, I literally got cleared on Monday before I flew out on Tuesday to be able to fight. I was supposed to go Thursday, actually, to get cleared to start back training for a fight in October. And then I went to the doctors, hey, they called me. They was like, well, yeah, it's cleared, it's good.
That's crazy. Well, you'll be happy to know that Dana said you should fight at light heavyweight.
Yes.
So and I guess lay out the plan. I mean, you say 2 more before the end of the year. So, I mean, how soon would you like to fight again? What do you see for yourself?
I'm going to go back get this checked, but you saw I still fought with it, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to go back and get it checked to see what I have to do and then start back at camp. I'm hoping for October 29th, I think it is, 29th, the Vegas card, because I have 2 of my teammates on that card. So if we could just have a nice, clean 3 sweep. So, yeah, that's the plan.
Hey, Carl.
Yes, sir.
Where were you when you got the phone call that you were going to be on this show?
One of my sponsors, Family First Security, I work with them while I'm not training. So I literally just started back working with them because I couldn't do nothing with my hands. So I was up on a ladder putting in security cameras, and I'm like, Jucal called me. And I'm like, I'm so naive. I'm like, oh, Jucal's calling me to check on me because he just got back from overseas. So I'm like, oh, hey, coach, how you doing? How was the trip? How was this? How was that? He's like, it was good. The UFC called for you to fight. I'm like, wait, what? But I was not even thinking about it. So he called me. I had to get down off the ladder because I probably would have failed, and I really would have been able to fight. But I got down off the ladder, talked to him for a little bit. Then my management called me. Sucker Punch, they called me, and then they finally told me all the details and different things. But I don't even think Jucal had the name. He was just like, UFC called. I think it's a heavyweight fight. You want to go? And I was like, yeah, let's go.
What were the emotions like?
They were excited, but I was like, we're at a church doing security for a church, so you can't really express yourself how you want to. I think, say hallelujah and different things, but yeah, I had to get back to work. We had a lot of cameras to put in, so when I got home, but then the process starts. This is a well-oiled machine, so as soon as I got home, it was like, you got to get this done, you got this date. So I was just like, okay, let's focus. Couldn't really super celebrate because once you got home, then the paperwork started flooding in. You're like, oh, then you know, for me, I know I haven't done anything. I tried to do something. I got in trouble from the doctors. I tried to start back working out, and they saw me, and they was like, no. So then I had to stop. So I was like, eh.
You took down Jimmy 4 or 5 times. He's a credentialed Penn State wrestler. Were you surprised, or was it just kind of like you knew you were going to do that?
I actually thought that we were going to strike because the wrestling takes up more cardio, and then that's his background, so he'll have more cardio. I figured heavyweight guy, Vegas altitude, heat, let's stay up and strike. But when he started moving back, I was like, okay, just take him down. And then I started getting tired too, so I was like, all right, just take him down. And I think Penn State against ATT Atlanta, ATT Lima wrestling, I think we beat the team. I think we got some good wrestlers, so I think, Can we go to a college division and wrestle them as a gym? Can we do that?
Maybe.
Let me stop, because then DC might come and choke me out, or somebody. So, but I'll try it.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. All right, thank you, guys. And you, sir, have a famous voice.
Testing.
Well, congratulations, of course, on the UFC contract. I guess just tell us kind of what the emotions are like for you right now.
Bem, primeiro de tudo, parabéns pelo contrato no UFC. Como estão as emoções?
Pô, é indescritível, né? São muitas emoções num momento só. É o sonho de uma vida inteira que a gente veio buscando, batalhando e finalmente chegamos aí no maior evento de MMA do planeta.
Very hard to describe. It's just a lot of emotions filled into one moment. Just all this hard work paid off, and here I am in the greatest fight promotion in the planet.
Nice. You had some countrymen early on that put in some good results. I just wondered if seeing some fellow Brazilians get some success, if it kind of gave you a good feeling as you were in the locker room getting ready.
Vários compatriotas com sucesso hoje antes de você. Você sabia das lutas? Você chegou a ver isso sabendo que eles ganharam? Se você soube, isso trouxe para você um ânimo maior ainda? Os brasileiros ganharam, vou nessa também?
Pô, com certeza que a energia do brasileiro é contagiante. E a gente vendo, pô, nosso povo aí, todo mundo unido, conquistando o seu espaço no UFC, né? É muito gratificante fazer parte dessa história junto com eles, né? Então, pô, só de estar no UFC já é uma vitória muito grande. Com companheiros que a gente tanto gosta, né? Que a gente acompanha e vê o resultado, é mais gratificante ainda.
Yeah, very gratifying. I mean, just the energy, the Brazilian energy, the energy of the Brazilian people is contagious. And for us to be in the UFC already is something important. But to see them conquering and just getting into this space in the UFC and just making their, getting some ground and gaining some ground and being here, it's so gratifying. It's just even more special to actually have that happen all together. And all these brothers in arms that we have from our country.
Nice. Obviously, it was a spectacular finish, but it wasn't necessarily an easy fight to get there. So I'm just curious kind of how you felt things were going as the fight was playing out and how you felt about your performance overall.
Bem, a luta terminou de maneira espetacular, mas não foi uma vitória fácil. Ou seja, como é que foi esse caminho para você chegar no que aconteceu?
Pô, então, eu sabia do potencial do meu adversário, um cara duríssimo, né? A gente já lutou antes, eu sabia que ele ia vir com tudo. A gente estudou algumas lutas dele. E foi isso, a gente jogou em cima da estratégia, mas no final contou muito o instinto ali também, né? Então, pô, eu acho que essa luta aí foi uma das melhores lutas da noite, né? Sem sombra de dúvidas.
I knew the toughness of my opponent. He's a tough guy, but I obviously just kept to the strategy because I knew that if I just kept going, just come out. I knew that he was going to come out guns blazing because of the fact that this is a rematch. It was going to be tough, but at the end of the day, it worked. And as what you saw, I mean, it all worked out. I kept with the strategy that we traced out to be, and also, I mean, it was one of the best fights of the night, right? So, good.
Definitely. The rematch, I was just curious. It is a unique situation to be in a rematch on Dana White's Contender Series fighting for a UFC contract. Did that familiarity make it easier for you or more difficult, maybe?
Sobre o fato de ser uma revanche, obviamente é uma situação completamente inusitada. Você tem uma revanche no Contender Series do Dana White. Isso para você tornou as coisas mais fáceis pelo conhecimento do adversário ou mais difíceis porque é uma revanche?
Então, eu não consideraria nem fácil nem difícil. Eu consideraria algo tipo assim, qual seria a palavra? Um desafio, né? Porque foi na minha estreia do MMA. Então, na época eu era 0-0 e o cara era 5-0. E foram 4 anos atrás, então eu tinha certeza que eu ia encontrar outro Rodolfo nessa revanche, e ele também teve certeza que ia encontrar outro Vitor, né? Então a gente não sabia muito bem o que esperar, porque por 4 anos de carreira, de distância da luta de uma para outra, mas foi uma ironia do destino que, pô, o cara que fez a minha estreia no MMA proporcionou a minha estreia no UFC. Então eu tenho a agradecer ele por essa luta aí. E por a gente ter feito grande show, que foi a luta que foi.
I wouldn't say it was easier or harder. What I would say it was a challenge. Because when I fought him, I was 0-0. He was 5-0. And it was my debut in MMA. So 4 years ago, I think 4 years between two people, I knew that I was going to see a different Rodolfo. And he knew he was going to see a different Victor. All I have to do is thank him for the opportunity to be here and to put on a great fight, just like you guys saw.
Nice. And last thing for me, I guess, what's the ideal scenario for the debut? Would you want to wait until the show in Rio, or would you like to fight before then? Are there opponents? What would you like to see for your debut?
Última pergunta minha é quanto à tua estreia oficial no UFC. Você esperaria, de repente, para lutar no Rio? Quer lutar antes? Algum oponente em específico? Qual é o cenário?
Então, eu quero lutar o quanto antes. Se preferência em dezembro ali, já quero fazer minha estreia no UFC. Creio que eu já estou pronto, estou bem treinado. Apesar dessa luta foi uma guerra, eu estou inteiro, entendeu? E eu estou pronto para dar um show novamente para vocês aí. Então, eu espero sim, até dezembro, estar fazendo outra luta aí pelo UFC, minha estreia oficial.
The earlier, the better. I am ready. I am well trained. Even though it was a war, I'm at 100%, and I'm just ready to go. So I would say, hey, December, I'm ready to go in December. One more.
E além de lutar em dezembro, eu quero, um sonho meu é lutar no Brasil também. Então, se eu puder emendar uma luta atrás da outra em dezembro e janeiro, eu tô aí para lutar, tô aí para dar show, para mostrar o meu trabalho, mostrar que eu tô pronto. E venha quem vier. A gente não escolhe luta, não escolhe oponente, a gente quer dar o show para vocês aí.
And besides fighting in December, I have a dream of fighting in Brazil. So why not December and at the end of January as well? I mean, I'm ready. Whoever comes, I'll face it. We do not choose opponents. I mean, we're ready to put on a show for you guys.